It's been used as an
Yo,
aphrodisiac.
what's YouTube? My name is Chaz. Welcome back to another episode of Skyline Smoke Blends. As you saw by the title of the video, today we are going to be learning how to make your own herbal smoke blend. Okay, so we're gonna get right into it, okay? Now, before we get into the fun part of actually crafting our smoke blend, okay, there's three important components of a smoke blend that we need to understand first, okay? So we're gonna go into it, but those three components are going to be, you need a base herb, you need an action herb, and you need a flavor herb, okay, to make a nice, well-rounded smoke blend, okay? So right now, we're gonna go and let's check it out. Okay, so let's talk about base herbs, right? So with a base herb generally makes up around 50 to 80% of the entire blend, right? Now, the job of a base herb is due to its like light and fluffy consistency and texture. It's meant to, you could say, keep the blend together as well as make the blend smoother to inhale, right? Because that light and fluffy nature is less harsh when you inhale, correct? So some examples of a base herbs you can use marshmallow leaf, you can use mullein, you can use even damiana, you can use mugwort, raspberry leaf. So you have quite a few options. I wanted to provide you guys with two examples. Right here, I have some marshmallow leaf, and right here I have some mullein. Both of them, as you know, they're both very soft to touch. Mullein being super soft, it actually feels just like cotton, if I'm being honest. And these are, like I said, these are two examples of what a quote unquote base herb would look like. I just said that typically a blend is like 50 to 80% of a base herb. One thing to keep in mind is while that is a general rule of thumb, it's important to, not be constrained, right, to the herb's title. Just because this may be considered a base herb, it doesn't mean that it can't be used in other categories as well. And I'm going to speak a little bit more about that, okay? So to continue on, now let's talk about action herbs. All right, so now let's talk about some action herbs, okay? So the action herb of a smoke blend, you can also call it the purpose herb, is what's the reason that you're crafting this smoke blend? Are you crafting this smoke blend to relax? Is it for relaxation, anxiety? Is it to help you sleep? Do you want a pick-me-up? Do you want to feel more focused? Do you want to feel euphoria? There are so many examples of perhaps maybe you want a recreational high, right? A slight high. So that's the point of the action herb. Why are you making this smoke blend, okay? And these are the herbs that are going to help facilitate that, right? So here are two examples of an action herb that I have for you. On the left, I have a passion flower, and on the right, I have a blue lotus, okay? Now, for example, let's say I want to make an anti-anxiety blend, or perhaps maybe a blend that I smoke before I go to sleep, or maybe I just want to generally relax. Passion flower, it's a nervine, meaning that it's going to calm down the nervous system, and it's a great herb for relaxation. If you have some anxiety, this is a great herb for that. On the other hand, I have blue lotus. Now, blue lotus is associated with euphoria. It's associated with being an adaptogenic, meaning that if you need to pick me up, it'll help give you a little boost. But if you need to settle down, you can also use it at nighttime to help steady you down. Okay, I talk about blue lotus all day, so we're not gonna get too deep into it. But essentially, that's the point of an action herb, right? So some examples of an action herb: you think passion flower, chamomile, lavender, those like nervine, skullcap also nervine, blue lotus. Clip daga, wild daga, if you want to get a little bit of a buzz. Same thing with damiana. Damiana is also an aphrodisiac, so if you're crafting a smoke blend for perhaps aphrodisiac properties, I'd look into blue lotus and damiana as well, okay? So there are hundreds upon hundreds of different action herbs that can be utilized for a number of reasons, okay? So just want to give you guys a little bit of example, okay? So we went over base herbs, we went over the foundation. Now we just talked about action herbs, which is going to be the purpose of why we're making this blend. And now the last component we're going to be talking about are the flavor herbs. So let's check that out. All right, let's talk about some flavor herbs, okay? So this one's probably the most obvious. It's definitely self-explanatory. This is the herb that you're going to add to your smoke blend to legit just give it more flavor, right? So some examples of a flavor herb can be lavender, peppermint, spearmint, really any kind of mint, chamomile, rose, verbena. There are quite a lot, okay? I'll just give you a few, right? What's really nice is that You know, you have your floral flavors in the form of like chamomile, rose, lavender. You have your, you know, different mint flavors, whether that be spearmint, peppermint, water mint, even. And then you have like your more citrus, which maybe like be like a lemon verbena, a lemon balm, something like that, right? So right here, I have an example. I have some rose, right? And then my personal favorite, peppermint. I am a big mint fan. Um, Always have been. I love mint chocolates. I love mint everything. So I definitely enjoy having a nice mint flavor when I smoke. So peppermint's definitely my favorite. So I just wanted to, you know, give you an idea, a visual. Like I said, if you're into more of a floral flavor, check out rose, lavender. Lavender's my second favorite of all time. Also like chamomile a lot. If you're into more mint, check out peppermint. And if you're into citrus, my favorite citrus, what I've tried, definitely lemon verbena. Definitely get that, check that one out, okay? So now we're getting to the fun part of actually crafting our blend. So let's see that. Okay, now let's get into the fun part, okay? So now for this example, we're going to use marshmallow leaf as our base herb, passion flower as our action herb, and we're actually going to use peppermint as our flavor herb, okay? Now, originally in the video, what I said was that for your base herb, you use 50 to 80%, okay? Now, don't feel constrained to live by a certain percentage. I think it's important for you guys to express your creativity and experiment to see, you know, what you guys like best, okay? When I'm making like a smoke blend for myself, I don't use measuring spoons. I eye it. I use my eyes, if I'm being candid, right? For the purpose of the video, I will use a tablespoon. I'll go to a 50% ratio of a base herb, and then 25% action, 25% flavor, okay? For the purpose of the video. So we're gonna start with, you know, 1 tablespoon of marshmallow leaf. This is a heaping tablespoon, cause that's fine, right? Because like I said, it could be 50 to 80%. So in this scenario, we could say that's like 1 part table. We could say 1 part marshmallow leaf, half part peppermint, half part passion flower. Okay, so next we're gonna go and use our passion flower. Get some of that in there. Very cool. And now we're gonna get our peppermint. All right. Okay, now from here, mix it. Okay, there's really no. You can feel creative. Sometimes I shake it around a little bit. You know, if you have like a mortar and pestle, you can also use that. You know, be careful not to make it, if you're using like a mortar or pestle, try not to crush it up where it's to the point where it's so fine that, you know, it's causing it to maybe like, you know, come out of the joints. You don't want it to be too fine. For people who smoke cannabis, you know, where it's like you never want to grind it to where it's super, super fine, similar concept. I used herbs right now that really don't need to be broken apart for the purpose of the video. So it's really that simple, guys. So now, like I said, it's really up to you how you want to enjoy the blend, right? Right from here, you can go, maybe scoop it up if you like, you know, and start putting it into like a bowl, whether that be like a glass bong or a pipe. You know, maybe now you're gonna start rolling it in like a blunt wrap or a joint paper. The main thing that I want you guys to take from this video is, you know, you can use the framework that's been laid out with the base herb, action herb, flavor herb, but don't feel constricted to the titles, right? Because I said lavender, rose, and chamomile are flavor herbs, but they're also action herbs because they also have their own properties, right? I said Damiana is a base herb, but some people use Damiana as a flavor herb because it's very pungent. It has a very pungent flavor, right? So don't feel constricted, okay? Have fun, experiment, use this as an outlet to express your creativity, because I know that's one of the ways I use these to make these blends. It's fun. Frankly it's fun. So if you guys enjoyed the video, I hope you guys learned like useful tips on how to craft your own herbal smoke blend. If you guys are interested in the herbal blends and the smoke blends that I myself create, please check out my website, skylinesmokeblends.com. The link will be in the description and it'll be in the comments as well, okay? So guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Once again, subscribe if you guys want to see more herbal smoke content. And yep, this is Skyline Smoke Blends and I'm signing out.